Hi, my name is John, and welcome to AI for Everyday Use. I'm going to talk to you about how I use AI every day, not in the corporate way, not by theory, but real everyday personal stuff. How I worked with my health insurance. I have examples on how I used it with Social Security, travel planning, home projects, audio decisions, etc. The difference is I'm not just asking AI questions like we've been doing with Google for the last umpteen years. We're providing context, which then carries forward and, in my opinion, gives a lot better results. So let me set up today's story. Today I'm going to have an example of Googling a phrase or asking it a question, and then transitioning that over to Gemini, which is Google's AI product. And I'm going to start the way most people do. Simple question. Go to Google. When's the best time for spring fishing on Long Beach Island? When, where, and how? And we'll see when we get back. I'll walk you through some of the stuff, the list of links, mix of options, etc. Then I'm going to go through that and then transition over to it and show you how I wrote a prompt, very basic prompt. I'll walk you through the way I learned how to write a prompt, which is role, objective, task, and output. And I'll take you through the whole thing. I'll share the prompt with you. I'll share the outputs. And I'll talk to you about how I ask an additional question. Now, I'm only going to show you one question, but you can go on and ask it. I mean, I've done this thing where I've had even come back after days and have asked several different questions. So let's give it a shot and see where it goes. We're going to start with a Google search. Let's search on what, when, and where to surf fish in LBI. And look what comes back. At first you get an AI overview, which gives you some high-level information. And then it goes into links about a derby, links about, different things. It really doesn't give you a lot of information. You kind of have to keep digging. When we click Show More under the AI overview, it provides some more information. It provides, some around the species, a little bit more detail, but it really hasn't customized it for ourselves. There's really not a lot of context here. I've now switched over to Gemini, and we're going to write a simple prompt. And when I write my prompts, I was taught initially to use role, objective, task, and output. So as you go through the prompt I wrote, you can see where I set up the role. You're a fishing expert who's a local to Long Beach Island, New Jersey. You have 30 years of experience fishing on the island. You're friendly, succinct, and informative. Now we get into the objective. Your objective is to provide guidance, tips and tricks, and things to avoid for anyone fishing on LBI in the spring. You've been asked by a person who is very new to fishing, has only been fishing a few times in the fall, and wants to surf cast or fish off the pier on LBI. Provide guidance and advice on where, when, and how to have the best experience and ideally catch some fish. Be succinct in your guidance while also remembering your audience. Ask any qualifying questions to allow you to provide the best guidance, and put the output to a table format. And what I like to do is almost simulate going in. If I went into one of the bait shops in Surf City in Long Beach Island, this is the conversation I would have. So I just took that kind of conversation and put it into a prompt. Let's see what it does. Here's our output in the format of a table like I had requested. And you can see here, it's giving a lot more information. One, it's a heck of a lot easier to read, if you ask me. And it starts giving more of a breakdown of what's going on. Locations, timing, target species, etc. Just a lot more context of what's going on and a lot more you can do with it. Now that we have our first output, let's have a chat with it. Let's ask it a question. Let's let it know that I have a Jeep buggy pass for Surf City, and to make it easier to lug my gear around. Are there any good spots there to try as well? The output's changed, and now we have a little bit more detail about using a beach buggy on the surf, specifically in Surf City. It lists out some prime fishing spots and some of the information around static fishing and staying away from the dunes. Two tables of output. We want to be able to now summarize them. So let's ask it to summarize and create one table with all the input, output to a PDF so that I could bring it with me when I'm out on the beach. Here's our final output. You can see there's categories for information from the first table, the second table, all columnized into one spreadsheet here, one table. And what you can't see on the screen is it actually gives you an option to output to Google Sheets, which makes it very convenient. So there you go. We started off with a basic prompt, and we have a nice takeaway for when we want to go out on the beach and try our hand at fishing. So did you see the difference? Google gave me a bunch of places to look. AI gave me a way to think through it. Talked me through the different variables that I presented to it. Gave it to the output that I wanted. Made it easier to read for me, not clicking through links. It also allowed me to combine two different topics, two different themes of the same topic. Starting off, where do I fish? And then, using my beach buggy to get in and make it easier to go and how to combine the two. And then if I really wanted to, it gave me the option to put it into a Google Sheets so that I could take it with me. So I encourage you, try something simple, that's similar to this. Find a topic you like. It could be gardening, it could be painting. I've used it for all different types of things. Try it, add context, have a conversation with it. Let's see what happens. So until next time, take care.